Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Thursday to you and your family. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. We're going to talk a little bit about our liquidity levels, a fair value gap that got filled, and kind of hypothesize what's going to happen next. We'll take a peek over here at High Block Capital as well on the smaller time frames, kind of see what's going on here, and ultimately, try to figure out a game plan, right? So again, as we lead into the weekend, we got to kind of know what's going on. And I think it's important to look at those things. So good stuff here today. If you want to become a better trader again, cryptocash.tech is the site. Link down below. Be sure to reference our Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it there. We actually have a summertime giveaway. See, I forget where it's at. I posted this yesterday, summertime sale. Summertime 23 is the checkout there. Be sure to use that. That is available for the next month as our summertime sale. Get a lot of questions for that, and just want to make sure to address that is found there either on our Twitter and, of course, through our Discord too if you want. Everything's down below. All right. So with Bitcoin, what we want to talk about here, let's go ahead and go with the daily first, kind of see what's going on here. So far today has been a doji candle, which tells us there's more indecision. Big surprise. We've had a whole lot of doji candles recently, for lack of better terms. They're not perfect, but they're all hanging out right here on this edge of disaster at 29,150. So again, as we continue to ride that level, more potential for lower price point. So again, keep in mind the overall bias here is still lower. I think there's still propensity for a lower price point. But in truth, I've got a position open at 29,000. So I do hope the price goes up a little higher. Based on yesterday's analysis, the price was looking like it was going to bounce off that level. We'll look at the hourly and show you exactly what I mean by that. Because that fair value gap got filled and there's a decent amount of liquidity above, and we have a good chance where the price action might continue higher. Once again, from the big picture though, it still looks like it wants to move down. We are again riding this little support level at 29,150, not the strongest. We are below 50 in the RSI, and once again, our MACD hasn't converged yet. So in truth, we're in a position right now where we probably want to expect the worst and hope for the best. And what that boils down to is, we're below all moving averages, minus the 200, of course, but that's slowly working itself up. So again, besides this ascending trend, we don't have a lot going on for ourselves here on the daily. So please recognize that. That's roughly what we're looking at there. So on the 4-hour, though, kind of gets interesting here because we're just below the 50-day SMA currently. If we can close above that, I think we'll be in much better shape, but that's tentatively holding the price action in place. We can see down below, the RSI is still below 50 as well, so until we break above that, we'll also be fairly bearish. So in a sense here, it was nice to kind of have this little up and down here. It was still complete manipulation to go ahead and wipe out those late shorts and to effectively destroy the late longs, early longs, I guess you could say. Because again, anyone that shorted from here got destroyed, and then those who tried to breakout traders there got also pretty well smashed. So again, that's why it's important to wait for these liquidity levels to get filled. Once again, on the hourly, we can kind of see that, but based on what we see here so far, there isn't a single thing on the 4-hour that tells us that a long position is viable, minus the ascending higher low trend that we're seeing here so far, which is something we haven't seen in quite some time, honestly. So again, Bitcoin's been kind of stuck on stupid minus the last 24 hours, and in that last 24 hours, we have established higher lows and effectively are working up. So again, if this next higher high can get up above this, or at the very least, we create a higher low, we'll be in better shape there to potentially have an ascending type of pattern that breaks to the upside. That's what I'm going to be on the lookout for. But for right now, most signs are pointing down, but you got to keep in mind, a lot of times they'll do that specifically to trick you into a position. So oftentimes the best position right now at this point is no position. We're taking a decent amount of swing trades, but they're pretty well ranged out. In other words, we have low position size, low liquidity on our swing trades there, and it's important to use that kind of strategy, I feel, based on these kind of markets. When you have these such aggressive candle wicks, they're just wiping people out when they have tighter stop losses. So again, all the more reason to do that. So, some of our day trades got hit fairly hard last week, and even still, we're still maintaining about a 65% success rate, but it's still one of those things where day trading can be a little more challenging depending on how often or frequently you take the trades. Okay? So less is more. Try to take that away here. So here's the hourly. This is where things get kind of cool here or interesting. So let's talk about the fair value gap first of all. This previous one here finally got filled, and as I mentioned yesterday, we were right about this range. It would be important to wait. So that's why we have a buy order at the low 29,000 range, basically 29,000 even. Okay, so if you're copy trading me on BingX, you'll see we have a copy trade at 29,000, and so far we're in profit. Again, that could go south, but it's a low position size, low leverage, and it can sustain a swing if we have to. So please understand that. This is a situation where we're in pretty good shape even still. If we do see lower, I do still think 28.5 would probably be the lowest. That said, this fair value gap was filled, and so was the previous one as well. So we're all good to go there. As far as liquidity is concerned, we've got a decent amount of that here at this 29,000 mark, as well as below at 28.5 to 28.8. Okay, so those are some areas that could get filled again here soon. They were basically wicked down here, so that's why I feel like that 29,000 range is a pretty decent buying opportunity. So once more, I do feel like the price has more propensity to go up than down in the short term. But again, the 4-hour and the daily don't look fantastic right now, minus the ascending trend that we're seeing. Okay, so if in most cases, the ascending trend is your friend, right? Until it isn't. So we got to assume this trend will continue because we are making higher lows presently at this time. Okay. All right. So that's kind of where we're at there on the hourly. Let's double check Ichimoku Cloud and kind of see, once again, range bound activity, not the most reliable. So that's really not telling us too much. If we look at TD sequential, we can say we became overextended to the downside. Times 2 effectively, right? So we had a pretty large overextension hitting that liquidity zone. So it does make sense for the price to slowly recover because of that. Okay. So all in all, that's roughly where we're at then. It's not like it's a definitive direction. The overall sentiment is bearish. We got to recognize that. But there's a decent chance we could see a short-term play to the upside based on some recent liquidity and fair value gap swings. So to me, at this point, I think we're looking tentatively bullish. That's why I kind of like to explain when I mentioned that on my my BingX feed or just some of my potential playout charts. I'm tentatively bullish on Bitcoin, but just do not misinterpret. It's not bullish to 32,000. It's potential retest of 30,000. If we break that level, we'll talk about it. But between now and then, we can expect to be range bound between 28.7 and 30,000. It's really where we're at right now. Not a lot of fun. There are some altcoins taken off. I'll make sure to cover that later today, but for the moment, roughly where we're at here. So I hope this served you well and benefits you, of course. I greatly appreciate that. And also, congrats to a lot of our community members that are coming over here as new members, locking in that rate that we have here again available through our Twitter and also linked below. But be sure to check that out. Help us grow the Twitter community. Greatly appreciate that too. And I look forward to work with you if you want to become a better trader. Again, cryptocash.tech is the site, Trading Academy, community, and signals. Awesome stuff there. We've increased our amount of signals and actually we're finding a great benefit there. It's a lot of fun. Be sure to check it out. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you again soon.